Jackie does play Twisted Fate. I wouldn't say it's like fear-worthy, but there doesn't seem to be too many priority bans for these guys if they're going with this stuff.
We'll have to see what they pick out. Night Jackie still has his Lux. He has liked that quite a bit lately. Mandatory Cloud. I don't know if we see him too much. And Sona actually finds herself on the ban list, as it has kind of been the bandwagon support that everybody's grabbing.
Yeah, this is actually pretty cool because Vulcan recognizes they're calling Elements his bluff right here. Elements plays pretty much Lulu and Sona, and he played Thresh yesterday and had kind of mixed results with it, right? So what Bloodwater wants to do is he wants to either force them to first pick it or take it themselves, and they want to make sure Elements isn't comfortable in this game. So Curse would have to first pick this, otherwise I think Vulcan's going to take it away from them.
The support Bloodwater has played every game on Vulcan so far, so yeah, they're completely putting that out. St. Vicious is going to bring out Volibear after his Udyr game today.
And now we're going to see if I'm completely wrong, because, I mean, St. Vicious has upgraded his bear. Udyr's only like 1/4 bear.
Right.
He went full bear.
Full bear.
Right now,
Yeah.
so that's a good one. And he's
Don't
got more
poke the
armor.
bear.
Right, so we'll see if that's a little more powerful. And Vulcan's, maybe they'll go with the poke comp.
Maybe they will go with the
the
poke,
bear.
and then they will poke the bear. We will have to see. It's going to be Xmithy and Psycho Sid in here. Nasus still on the board, and there it is. Xmithy loving the banana suit dog. Locks it in.
And I really think Vulcan should go with Lulu here if Bloodwater wants it. And
Oh, really?
Oh, really? It's
You
because they
think
want
so?
to deny Curse that
Completely.
pick. So now what's Curse going to do in response to this?
Blitzcrank.
Voidboy's still got his top laner. It could be. He likes his
That'd
Blitzcrank.
be fantastic.
But
It
he
really
would pick Thresh over Blitz.
I would. Elements has played Elise before.
He has. He has. I do think if he's going to pick a support, it's going to be Thresh, though, because he can combo gank with Thresh.
Right.
It's something that he did play yesterday, but I think it's, once again, Vulcan calling him on, we don't think you can play Thresh. We dare you. Aw, come on, Jackie.
Lock it in. Everybody wants some more Baby Cage coming in this week.
Yeah.
St. Vicious has his lock in, so we're seeing who he will choose for right now. I bet you it's going to be Void Boy's top lane. We'll have to see. Actually, Chris is, I think, last time they last picked Void Boy for top lane to give him kind of an advantage there.
Yeah, and they don't have that luxury this time if they decide to go for that. So they lock in the Thresh and the MF, so they get Elements on Thresh, which I think was planned all along for Vulcan. Misfortune is a happy pick for Curse. So Cop is a very happy man right now. It's just a matter of whether Vulcan can deal with that. MF's also a very good pick against Nasus because the Wither doesn't necessarily shut him down as much because you Wither him, then he just uses bullet time, right? And that's generally the way that matchup plays out. But this still opens up stuff like Karthus for Vulcan. They have still had success with Karthus Vladimir. That's been their mid-top combo the last 2 games, right? They could still go for something like that if they really want to, or if the defeat to Complexity threw him off and said that's not the comp we want to go with anymore. We'll have to see. I don't know how. I do not know how he sees the screen. His head's so low all the time.
Just up into that screen. Reminds me of some Counter-Strike players because you would tilt your keyboard and the mouse and you just be all right on the screen. Absolutely. So it looks like he could be a Trist or a Varus this game. Zuna pulling out some good things for Vulcan again against Team Solo Mid with that Tristana. It was really pivotal in their Dragon Ace, but it is going to be the Varus and Rumble lock-in.
I like this combination nowadays because when you pick Varus, you allow yourself to have slightly less crowd control in your other positions. So if Zuna lands a really good Varus ultimate with the new Rumble ult in this patch where it does just damage over time and no upfront damage, it could actually work extremely well. This is probably a Psycho Sid pick on Rumble. And for Curse, I'm not sure what they're going to go with here because they get to pick their mid and their top. Bam!
Absolutely. And we were sitting up in the room today. We're like, what happened to all these like Katarina and other things that were played? They just kind of off to the wayside. Leave it up to Void Boy to bring that out.
Someone's going to do it. It's always Void Boy.
Night Jackie is bringing out the Kazakhs something.
I think this, well, this is the great thing about Curse, actually. Jackie does play Katarina as well as Void Boy.
Right.
And Kazakhs is also a flex champion, whether he can play mid or top. So this is a way of neutralizing Vulcan's last pick, right? Because you can't, if you're going to pick a counter pick, it would have to be a counter pick that will apply to Katarina and Kazakhs, which is much more difficult. So I don't know what Vulcan's going to go with here. They do have the option of like mid-rumble is a real thing. There's actually a guy who's like mid-rumble GG, and all he does is play rumble. So he was like Diamond 1.
Absolutely.
So it definitely works.
Probably has it in his list of champions as well, so it's out there.
Well, that's the entire list of game is Prawley's champion pool, apparently.
And it's going to be a quick Zed lock-in. After a bit of a wait, they select it and just choose it out.
So Vulcan opting to go for the Zed mid, and once again, I believe that's unlocked by the fact they picked Varus. So you could kind of see it coming that they didn't need Mandatory Cloud to bring crowd control to their team since they're going to be able to apply it via the AD carry. So that's a very aggressive, powerful team from Vulcan. And you look over at Curse, they're still happy and confident. There's a little synergy with the box from Thresh plus the bullet time from Misfortune in this one, but for the most part, Curse looks like they're going to try to get the upfront damage from Cop like usual, and then they want Voidboy and Jackie to go in. The only problem they might have is they might not have enough upfront damage to let the resets happen, because that is the reset comp that Curse is trying to run here.
The reset comp, but isn't it going to be super scary? They don't really have what you would want a Lux to stop a Volibear. You flip that one person back, bullet time's coming across to stop that engage, and that one person's stuck.
If there's a slight edge, it's Curse, because St. Vicious would be able to get the fling in. The sustained damage in these early game fights, there's no like Ziggs in this game that's just absolutely nuts level 1. There's no Lux that's like, well, you do the bind and then you're kind of out of stuff. So I don't think these teams are going to be doing stuff.
No, probably not, but if they do, it'll be pretty damn awesome. Coming in 30 seconds, and yeah, they're going to spread. Vulcan and Curse, well, not really much so as much Curse, but Vulcan setting up that line of scrimmage.
Curse waiting in the brush this time, so they're making sure that if someone comes by, it wouldn't be super detrimental to them. And this is both teams saying, we do not want to deal with things. There is one interesting vision ward that Curse has actually already placed in the Triangle Brush, because they were kind of hoping that Vulcan would come down and ward that, but maybe we'll see a delayed play from Curse. They're level 1 bullies, right? Yeah. Even if they're not stronger, they're still going to act like they are, and they're going straight for this blue. Vulcan will know that this area is going to be contested. That's a good ward by Psycho Sid as Curse approached.
Sid is going to have to move back here, like you said, put down that second one, and they have all the vision. So now they should be able to counteract whatever happens from Curse, unless they let this kind of slide to the wayside in their mind here in the early part.
Yeah, so because they knew that Curse was coming in, Vulcan placed a ward on their blue as well, so they're really just trading knowledge between each other. The only advantage that Vulcan would have is they have the knowledge that Curse warded their blue, whereas Curse can only guess that their own blue was warded. So a little bit of level 1 mind games going on, but definitely no brawls.
Nothing too big, no brawls as usual, which is unfortunate, but we'll get to those soon enough.
We'll get to the brawls.
Absolutely. Curse versus Vulcan now underway. We're going to see if Curse can stay on top in the standings here. Vulcan looks like to go for this late invade on the blue, and they're going straight for it with the vision, knowing they're not even going to see any counter.
Right, so I'm pretty sure they kind of guessed where they would be. They knew Jackie went mid on Kha'Zix already, and they're going to be able to get this one. Now the battle's going to be about how they get to their blue and whether St. Vicious invades them.
He may just want to. He's got to know that they haven't seen him up top yet. Voidboy must have called that and said, you guys may be having some trouble in that burst coming out from both of these guys in mid. Jackie forced a flash on this. So that's the upper hand flash to ManCloud now, but he doesn't have it in his Ignite to finish.
It's all about that early level 2. Mandatory Cloud got a lot of experience out of the lanes. And
as Zuna is as well, and we are going to be back into that mid lane. We just saw a lot of aggression there to fill you back up, fill you back in and up with all the information. Flashes up for ManCloud. Both summoners bone for Jackie in mid. A lot of aggression there just now.
Right, and all Xsmithy had to do to scare them off this blue buff is come down. We could potentially see some action here. Curse outnumbers Vulcan here, so it's all in the smite. St. Vicious gets it by spiking it with Frenzy as well.
Get that down. They're going to easily return to lane, and actually Xsmithy knew that was coming around from that early ward from Psycho Sid. So there's a bit of tell going on. Voidboy taking a bit of aggression there. Try to get some more damage down, but he goes ahead, starts chugging those potions.
And he's done the 9-pot start on Katarina, so he should be able to take a lot of harass. He's just got to worry about the turret dives, but he's already defensively warded up in that top lane, so he should be fine. The same is true for Psycho Sid's 1v1, and this is really just kind of a reset game here. The junglers taking each other's buffs. St. Vicious actually ends up with the slight advantage because he didn't waste any time, right? Xsmithy tried to go down and protect his blue, but didn't make it in time, so Saint got a bit of an edge despite being invaded first.
Watching Cop pressure this bottom lane now 20-20 in CS as they start to put a little bit of damage on the turret. They do have a good ward. They actually have that forward ward to make sure Psycho Sid doesn't get a 2v1. Both lanes seeing some aggression here, and that the death sentence won't be too much pressure for Psycho.
Yeah, we got to be real quick about these lanes because there could be action going down at any second. Voidboy's chugging those health pots, but doesn't feel safe about being able to over-chug and stay in this lane, so he sent St. Vicious up there to clear. St. Vicious is a very happy man to go up there and clear. He loves taxing lanes, and this isn't even tax. He's being nice this time, so he's going to be able to get a bit of an edge with that experience in the lane.
Looks like, yeah, he's going to allow Saint to stay there quite a while. He doesn't even use teleport to get back And it looks like another ward coming in as Bloodwater stays present on those wards towards Curse's blue buff.
Now this bottom lane, they're getting a fair bit of damage onto this turret. Psycho Sid's gonna have to clear those waves a little bit better. He too started with a whole bunch of health potions. Not much pressure being put on either of these lanes, like super hard pressure. Voyboy did get poked down a little bit, but the turret hasn't taken a whole bunch of damage, and this game's gonna have to wait to get underway. Like a little while ago when we saw the 2v1 lanes kind of enter the NA scene, we see the turrets die around 5 minutes. Not the case this time. They're not putting nearly as much pressure on these turrets. These are the man turrets, by the way, right after the turret buff, so they're doing more damage to champions now.
It really is. You even look at the inventories on Vulcan's side, and this is what Curses just looked like. They bought everything to use in a very early engagement. They have almost empty inventories because everything has just been used out.
Vulcan did the consumable strat right at the start of the game, and they've consumed everything. So since they didn't make too much of it, it's good for Curse.
Absolutely. This bottom turret looking for pressure, and that's what you get out of the 2v1 swap. A Lantern for a safe cop. They're not going to take it down just yet, as they may be ahead 41 to 39, so both swap lanes are doing quite consistent.
And the mid lane here as well, Nijaki, despite having to burn his flash in that level 2 versus 1 all in, Mandatory Cloud didn't take too much of an edge. This is the battle of the 80 assassins in mid lane anyways, so I think they're really going to make something happen at level 6 if they go in on each other or if they start roaming. First turret to Curse is actually a pretty big edge. Yeah,
there it is. 6 minutes into the game. Expect to see them heading towards the top lane once they maybe push back to that second turret. They do not have the Tribush ward there. And we may see Xmithy coming around. He just goes to ward, give a little bit more safety actually to Psycho Sid so he can continuously farm.
And Curse is definitely outplaying these 2v1 lanes in more ways than one. So not only are the turrets completely one-sided, like that's almost no damage to Curse, it's because St. Vicious has been like camping this lane as he goes in and
he flashes, and they actually flash the toss mid-throw.
Yeah, that was so close for Saint, but because Saint has been camping this lane so much, you'd expect that Xmithy would have like out-farmed him, or at least Voyboy would be under-farmed to Psycho Sid, but none of these things are true, right? Voyboy's got the same farm as Psycho Sid. St. Bitch has kept up with Xmithy, and the only thing that really happened is Curse has an extra turret, so well played by them.
No kills yet in this game, which is quite surprising. As we have said, it is all about the aggression here. Those consumable early level 1 and 2 strats really haven't gone in either team's favor. 8.8 thousand gold to 8.2 thousand gold. That going in favor of Curse. Nijaki jumping onto Man Cloud. Didn't force out the flash, just the living shadows. Xmithy comes to get some help.
Man Cloud playing it safe right here. Thought that he didn't want to go in since he knew Cop was on the approach. And Xmithy covering his lane as well. So these guys with defensive lane strategies so far. The pink wards have come down for Curse, and they're trying to get these dragon wards down a little bit. But I don't think we'll see the first fight until maybe Mandatory Cloud all-ins or maybe Elements lands a nice death sentence.
Well, it looks like the support's hitting level 5s right now. Bloodwater just hit his, almost coming up on those ultimates. So we'll see a little bit more action in the lanes when they can put out that spike in damage or spike in support. But right now it's been Nijaki and Man Cloud. They have loved going at each other in mid, and this is kind of new for Jackie to be the one initiating aggression on the 1v1.
Yeah, just the chair of the goddess as well for Nijaki. Like, he's just got to make sure to farm up, play his game like he did on Rise the last time he played Mandatory Cloud, because that was a Quinn matchup that he had to play against, right? He did not know what was going to hit him.
Choice words for that.
And he said he was going to play, you know, really cautiously. Then he realized he would be the victorious one, I think is a nice way of saying it, and he took his advantage as such, as now Curse with their early pink ward, and because Vulcan is potentially going for the top tower, this is a free one for Curse.
Looks like that gold is going to shoot them up with the first real gold lead of the game, but Vulcan keeps the timer on Curse's Golem. It's not 150 gold, but they will start to be able to harass a little bit here.
Look at that.
Maybe not.
They're getting their own blue buff.
Take it back as well.
It's the counter trade, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, we're going to steal it. We know we're out of position, and Vulcan needs to get this turret. They really have to get on the board here because they're down 2 objectives right now, and Xmithy is coming in from the back as well. They're devoting so much for this. Voyboy's going to just have to give it up.
Yeah, they're actually timing that well. Xmithy coming up, figuring we're getting this turret, and also somebody's going to probably be here to try and save this. They get one or the other. It's going to be the turret for now. That's going to even up the gold almost. Psycho Sid farming out with the equalizer right now. Just trying to pressure, or push off Curse, rather.
Yeah, that's a pretty smart equalizer, actually, because he realized his team had invested so many resources sending people up top that Curse may have tried to counteract that, so he just made sure they didn't have creeps to do that. And like losing an inner turret this early would have been really bad, so he just completely got rid of that possibility.
Jackie trying to throw out Some damage here as he gets the Bloodthirster built underway. The Brutalizer fast build for ManCloud to start off, and the BF swords are already out for the AD carries. Small spikes in damage around the map are really just staying in the lane. Nobody's roaming too much to get a team fight engaged here. It's still 10 minutes in, though.
Curse gonna have to come up big in this game, right? Like, yes, they were worried about TSM as a threat. They lost to TSM. If they lose to Vulcan as well, Dignitas is actually gonna pass them from the sofa on the standings because Dignitas has a bye week this week. So Curse, they want to perform. Like, they do care about their #1 standing. They have a constant chip on their shoulder because most members of Curse, at least Voyboy, St. Vicious, and Elements, have been kicked from a team before, right? So to be the #1 team means a lot to these guys, and they do not want to lose it. So this is a very important game for them.
So is the pressure now that Psycho Sid received in the early game the reason he has lost his turret, now bought Sork boots because he can kind of stay back? Usually you'll see a Haunting Guys or something go out before secondary boots on Rumble.
Yeah, a lot of times I think Rumbles go Haunting Guys because it's the magic pen they want plus the extra health they kind of need for resiliency. But Psycho Sid just has confidence in himself, right? It's a faster way of getting the magic pen if he wants to have a really long range fight, and that's probably all that went into that decision. He just means he has to play more safe.
Alrighty, we see Katarina kind of going the other way as the Haunting Guys getting pieced together. Kindle Gem already for St. Vicious. Lock of the Iron Solari since it came out. Really just one of his favorite jungle items because he says it just gives you everything. And he's right. Everything you need. And that cooldown is one of the big things here for Volibear. Can he get in for this fight? And he's going to be able to help his team solidify the first kill of the game. St. Vicious, 13 out of 14 first bloods for his team. Can he do it again?
Yeah, Vulcan's not ready for this one either. And they don't want to give that first blood to St. Vicious, even though he's level 7. They want to get it themselves. I mean, Curse has already cleared away the dragon, right? That's not going to be a point of contention. They've already traded the turrets. That's not a point of contention, right? We could see a little bit of time until someone really tries to force to take something. The blue buffs are going to be up again in about a minute and a half or so. They've been trading those. Maybe they'll decide to actually fight over their blues, but for now they've just been trading, right? So these guys are really happy farming, trading objectives, and they're both confident in their ability to power up. So Psycho Sid versus Voyboy, right? They're not fighting each other, but they actually farm pretty evenly.
Pretty similar, yeah.
Mandatory Cloud and Nijaki, similar story. Even though ManCloud had the early advantage leveling up, it's even. And that's a testament to Nijaki because he actually had to go tier the Goddess early, and he's sticking in the lane against an energy champion. So all around, this is still a very close game, and both teams are happy with the way it's been going.
See Bloodwater grabbing Philo first. He's got 150 gold already off of that, so it's definitely helping them get this ward vision down. They're starting to push. You can see the wards they have on the map, and it's allowing them to pressure St. Vicious in mid. The turret doesn't matter. The teleport coming in, that's got to be stopped. No, Voyboy keeps the teleport going. He feels safe enough to stay in the fight. He's just going to take some poke.
All 5 people on Vulcan are mid now, and St. Vicious was the only member of Curse in that situation. He wanted to be involved in First Blood, and he was. It was just the wrong way around. So he really did himself in. He popped his ultimate while he was withered. There was no way he could fight back, and that was just an obliteration of the bear.
Absolutely. Vision is power, and Vulcan knew they could do that with really out any recourse. That mid turret still pretty healthy, so you can see just how much they wanted that first blood and start to kind of control the game.
They drew the gold completely even, right? So that dragon is no longer a factor because they've traded the turrets, they've gotten the kills, and they're out farming a little bit to make up for it. Zuna, 115 minion kills to Cop's 100. Based off all the lane swaps, that's pretty good for them, right? Cop did finish his Bloodthirster, which is a big deal, but Mandatory Cloud is powering up on Zed as well. This is going to be a very critical juncture in the game right here as the next dragon's a minute away.
Burst in damage, says Vulcan right now with those BF swords, but if it's played right, Vulcan, or Curse rather, could really pull this one into their favor. They do have some items completed, and we've seen them really be a team that can come down in gold and win the fight. But right now at even, that's going to be a dangerous fight composition for them.
It is one of Curse's specialties, right?
Yeah,
they're just like, well, we kind of lost the early game, but not by much. Let's keep ourselves in the game, wait for the window. It's what Curse is so good at doing, and this is one of those games where they're waiting for the window. They're not behind yet whatsoever. This is still a game that is pretty much yet to begin.
And we actually see Psycho Sid going after the Haunting Guys now. Probably was really just trying to get away from Cop in that lane. So painful with the strut just continuously proccing on him. He got the boots, get out. Now he's going to get his item build going. Blue going over. Actually, who will it go to here? They're going to switch that up. Looks like it actually will go to Mandatory Cloud to get that just more damage out.
Yeah, it does help with energy reduction, regeneration as well, so that'll be a big thing. And 6 seconds left. Psycho Sid is sprinting down as fast as he can. He's got to pop his health potions too to make sure he's at full health in this fight. Curse knows the timer. They're going all out on it. If we see the engagement, it's going to be this one because Psycho Sid can reach now with his equalizer.
Coming out from the side, it's going to be Zuna kind of choking himself towards the blue. A great equalizer keeps them from doing damage to Baron and chokes St. Vicious into the pit. He can't help heal for the team. Diving in a bit too much. They give themselves to Curse there. Twice there. Smithy going down. Curse still alive in this fight. They finally lose St. Vicious as he goes down. Voyboy's so close. Can he get it? A triple kill coming in for Cop. The KDA going through the roof for the Quadra as well.
That fight was great for Curse. They forced Vulcan into a split decision, and Vulcan paid dearly. Couple things in that fight. Yes, the equalizer went out on Dragon, but it wasn't comboed with Zuna's ultimate either. What Vulcan needs in these fights is to lock people in the equalizer. They locked people out of the equalizer, and then it let Voyboy get in, got the first kill. They reset all over the place, and eventually Cop got the Quadra.
Looks like Curse able to push a turret after that and capitalize on the advantage. 15 minutes in, 5-3. That gold lead finally in their favorite, 4,000 up. Locket finish for Saint. Giant's belt coming out for Katarina, which is going to make it that much harder to burst her down. And like we said, there is not much crowd control to stop them. And that those resets once they get in the fight.
That was just so incredible for Curse. Like, Voyboy got a pretty much full channeled ultimate off. Sure, it was only on one person, but it started the chain. It allowed him to keep his spells going. I actually didn't even keep track of Nijaki during that fight, so I don't even know what contribution he made. He's got 3 assists. Probably did something pretty good. We'll have to catch that after the game if we do a telestrated bit on that or something, but that was real good for Curse. Just cannot say enough how big that was.
So Curse now kind of holding off, seeing what Vulcan is going to answer with, and really they're going to have to answer with what Curse just did and what many teams say Curse does well, and that's make you pay for your mistakes.
The top teams really punish and play with leads incredibly well. TSM got a little ahead of Curse previously today. They made him pay. Absolutely. Curse couldn't make it back in this game. Let's see if Curse can do the same thing to Vulcan here. Like, it's going to be a struggle for them. Vulcan usually actually plays really well in the early game, and then it was the late game closing that was the difficulty for them. So having a fight go like that at 14 minutes puts them in a really tight situation. They still don't have their big items completed, right? Like, look at Zuna. He's working on his Infinity Edge. Then look at Cop. Bloodthirster, Last Whisper. That bullet time is shredding people on Vulcan at this point. So Curse is willing to take any fight. It's probably going to be at the next Dragon.
Let's see Cop still farming away. They are setting up for a bushwhack here onto Cop. They're going to try to stay just at bay, but it looks like he backs off, playing quite smart in that one. He's going to stay safe, getting a little help from Elements here. Nope, they're just going to spread it out. So Curse, you can see the confidence. They're not grouping. They know that Vulcan's not going to engage them in a fight, and they could probably 1v1 a situation that they find.
Curse is the patient team, right? They understand their place in the game, and they don't rush things, which is, you know, sometimes it can be a bad thing if you're not rushing things, but they're definitely taking it slow, right? Like the patience of Voyboy. Yeah, I could farm that wave, but why give up my vision? I don't know if it's safe yet to come into this lane. What if they're trying to push this turret? There's an exposed turret behind, like there's a turret behind Voyboy that Vulcan might want to try to take down for global gold advantage, but now he sees the mid. He saw Zed was there. He's going to farm the wave and get out of there.
And look how many wards Elements put down up top, and that's something, you know, Voyboy was waiting for as well. He sees him in mid because of St. Vicious, so he feels a bit more confident to head out now, but he obviously is wary as he goes back and forth in that lane. Cop and Elements pushing this top turret, trying to get it down at 18 minutes. They are 2-1, and they have grabbed that map control from the mid and bottom turret. This will be the final one and really open things up for them.
If they can get those 3 turrets out, then the deep wards will start happening. And like, the middle lane is littered in wards from Vulcan because they probably want to start pushing that mid turret fairly soon, and they don't want to get caught out by Roam. But the pressure from Curse on the rest of the map is keeping them from being able to do that, right? Voyboy's still pushing bottom. They got to keep his teleport on track. Also, it's a 1v2 against Psycho Sid. He's overheating. That turret's down as well. So Vulcan losing out on the arms race for turrets here.
Big Lantern toss back. Smithy gonna head back, and let's probably finish up this Locket of the Iron Solari soon, or get the armor chunk of it. He finishes the entire thing. So a little more fight ready here coming in for Vulcan, but that's only a shield. It doesn't mean they're gonna be able to put everybody in the fight. That Infinity, as you were talking about, has been finished with the Red Elixir burst on the backside.
And this gold disadvantage that Vulcan is under right now is pretty much as far they can, like they can't let it go farther, otherwise they're gonna lose control of the game. But this is still a number that they can come back from since the team compositions are very close. if they can save the first target from dying, they could win a team fight fairly handily. If they land their spells right, or if they get picks like this and can chase down Voidboy. Let's see if he gets away with teleport.
Will Voidboy be able to use it? No, he gets popped up there. The Lulu ultimate for the teleport, but up top as well, the retribution kill goes back towards Vulcan.
And Zuna just a little bit slow to that. Here comes the pressure from Curse. They know it was 3v1 bottom versus 2v1 top, so that leaves Jackie as the lone member pushing mid.
And that's what I said before, right? Curse feels comfortable enough to put one person, if they need to, in each lane to go for the 1v1. And it took Vulcan 3 or 4 members to take down Voidboy. St. Vicious is going to be a bit of a harasser here on the Mandatory Cloud. He's got the attack speed scaling up there. He is going to be able to take out Man Cloud that last bite. Like I said, don't poke the bear.
Red buff bear with level 2 Thunderclaws. That's an extra 115 damage every auto attack. That steroid is absolutely insane. Like, you don't fight Volibear. And Mandatory Cloud without his ultimate just couldn't deal with him. As soon as St. Vicious got the fling, Mandatory Cloud was like, there's no getting away from this. I'm going to try to fight him as best I can, but he was really doomed from the start when St. Vicious closed. That
damage shred that we've seen a lot of teams trying to come out with here from Bloodthirsters on just about everyone you can build it on and trying to get that damage across. We saw Zuna build 2 the other game. He went for Infinity Edge this game, so I don't think he'll be trying for that one.
It's a much different animal on Varus. He wants to make sure he's auto-attacking well after he gets his ultimate off, whereas Cop is all about the assist damage like we were talking pre-game. Zuna made sure to clean up that blue buff even though he was on top of ward, and the dragon is up. Round 2. Let's see if Vulcan can pull it off, if they combo their ults properly or not.
5,000 gold lead makes this that much more dangerous, and like we said, Curse makes and takes advantage of mistakes. Dragon at half, not going to have much on that. Saint's going to go ahead and bite it down. I think he even saved Smite. No, he used it up. So we have Xmithy and the rest clearing out the jungle. Mandatory Cloud heading top. They're trying to get the lanes pushed so Curse cannot dictate so much of this map presence.
Really intriguing choice there by Vulcan not to fight a dragon. I can see why they wouldn't want to go in Riv, because they knew they would be down in the game already and they lost the last fight so badly, but they didn't want to try and fight better. They thought that that was just a really bad place for them to be fighting in, which tells me that Vulcan has other plans, right? Because if they're just going to be giving up the dragons, they're not the type of team that's just going to let Curse walk over them and win. They probably think the Baron is a better place to start putting up a fight, or they think they can catch someone out of position.
Now, is it a statement when you see a Katarina go straight for Rylai's instead of something like a Zhonya's or super defensive item?
I think it's just a Voidboy thing, right? He used to build Warmogs on Katarina. Sometimes he does Sunfire Cape. And
so kind of like Frog and throws a dart at a board and say, build it.
Yeah, and in this situation, it kind of works out for him because his team does need a little bit of extra chase and he's going to help combo. But Mandatory Cloud, he's going to have to fight a bear again.
Deja vu, Man Cloud, there's the bear. Rolling Thunder tries to get in. The flip goes back. That's what we said after the flip. It's going to be almost impossible to get out. Xmithy trying to help, but he may have solidified and secured his own death as well. Chain of Corruption on the Jackie. He flashes the last turret tether. They're still under the turret. Voidboy gets hit up. St. Vicious wanted to be that tank for the turret.
And they're just going to keep going. Xmithy's super low. He's trying to chase. Oh man, Riv.
That was absolutely crazy. Cop and Elements coming in to bolster the ranks in the top lane. Bloodwater and Sid looking the equalizer. Will it start the fight? Oh, he wards the bush. That looked like it could be so amazing, but a ward thwarts it. St. Vicious, the lantern toss all the way over the edge. Cop! Whoa! Walking into an entire fight there. Not in the right spot. The KDA takes a hit.
That was a surprise for him. He didn't think Psycho Sid was in that area. It's like, oh my goodness, it was 2 feet away from me. What do I do? I'm gonna ult. And I guess Cop died from that one. But that's the kind of play Vulcan was waiting for, right? They were confident that Voidboy was gonna make a play potentially that was too aggressive and be able to turn it around from there. So instead of giving Curse a controlled 5v5 at Dragon, they would rather have a chaotic fight in the top jungle, and it was a good play for them in the end.
Absolutely. What do we have here as we take stock of the game? 200, just about 200 to 200 CS in mid. There's a 10 CS difference. Same with the AD carries. We're seeing the biggest discrepancy in that top lane. It was the swap, and Voidboy has pulled out the 2v1 a little bit stronger. That gold right now, I believe, is going in favor of Cop at 9,100 to himself.
Oh yeah, he's a very, very powerful misfortune right now. And St. Vicious, despite giving up first blood, despite being a little bit 0-2, he's farmed a lot, right? He's 111. Xmithy farming a lot in the jungle as well. These are not the supporty junglers. These are the guys that want to have big presence in team fights. Saint has beaten Xmithy to the punch with his aura items, right? 6,600 gold to 5,700. And Xmithy's going to want to pick up that Aegis of Legion if his team wants to have a bit better chance in these team fights, because especially with the wanting to keep the first target alive, it's good to get that armor and magic resist to everyone.
You see, like you said, the age is finished. These guys want to get back in the fight. Curse really dictating this one, but as we said before, also slowly. They don't want to make the mistakes that Vulcan can capitalize on just yet. 24 minutes in here to the last game of the day. It's Vulcan trying to thwart Curse out of this top place spot. Like we said, dig to toss, waiting in patience to see if they're going to be able to take that first place.
Yeah, they're happily on the couch being like, come on, Vulcan,
Come
pass
on,
Curse
Vulcan.
for us, all right. But it's not working out too well for them right now.
Right.
Vulcan still clinging to that 5,000 gold disadvantage. They don't want to let that stretch. I mean, the longer they can hold it as a 5,000 gold disadvantage, the better it becomes for them. Because it's really all about percentage gold difference. And if you get eventually to the point where everyone has 6 items, who cares about 5,000 gold? But it's a long ways away from there, and Curse is trying to make a Baron play. You can see Elements has picked up his Oracle's Elixir, so they're really trying to deny Vulcan vision and force them into a difficult decision. Voyboy's off split pushing bottom, so if Curse wants this, it would be a 4v5. They're getting that Baron pretty low, and they're going to try to keep these wards clear.
They have that teleport from Voyboy to come in. ManCloud trying to stick on him to let the team know. Voyboy's backing off, ready for the teleport here. You're going to see if he pulls it in. The box goes down.
Ooh.
They are able to get Baron. That Chain of Corruption was very close for doing some damage. Zuna is the focus. Bullet time goes across. Wild Growth used in defense, and Voyboy is still able to stick on the team. That Ryla's coming into play very big. The resets start, and it will continue. Cop picks up one. The turret goes down on the bottom side as they try to answer from Vulcan.
Really good force by Curse there. They realized Mandatory Cloud could not respond, and even though Vulcan landed like the perfect combo between Varus and Rumble Ult, it just didn't matter because there was no one there to fight for Vulcan. 2 kills for a Baron for just a turret that Vulcan gets is an incredible strategic edge that Curse just gained.
Mandatory Cloud has to get back rather right now. He cannot push that second turret. The inhibitor will go down here. The Baron is up. They cannot fight this back versus Curse. There's just too much regen from that.
That inhibitor is not long for this world, and Mandatory Cloud cannot contribute either. It's a bit of a bigger disadvantage now because inhibitor down plus Baron down, 5 turrets to 2. Vulcan really has to turtle this one out, Riv.
Nijaki just hitting 16 on that Kha'Zix, getting his level up going. You'll see now more denial. No, they are back down.
Yeah, and the timing on this Dragon might actually work for Vulcan because Curse did just use everything, and they know that Nijaki's in the top lane here on Kha'Zix. So if Vulcan could somehow wait the 24 seconds, I don't know if they have the window to because the top lane might start falling, but if there was a Dragon to contest, like this would either just destroy the game or Curse is forcing them into it 4v4. With the way Jack is continuing to push though, this does look like Curse will get another free Dragon and extend their lead even more.
To have that time on the Dragon and know it was about 30 seconds gave Nijaki so much time to push the top lane. They lose Zuna to this. He's going to try to hold that, but Curse grabs the Dragon now because they were a little too early on their positioning.
Curse is playing this game really, really well, Riv. Like, even though they gave up first blood and Vulcan kind of punched him in the teeth early a little bit,
yeah,
they were completely unfazed. They just play so well once they have a little edge and have gotten the Dragon fight going down. Their late game is probably the most solid late game of all the teams in the North American LCS. Cop got that static shiv as well after picking up his quadra kill, right? Not many deaths happening throughout the rest of the team. Voyboy's super aggressive, got the Riley's Crystal Scepter, right? Like, they're in really good shape here.
They are even executing a tri-split push now.
A try-push.
The tri-push.
Everybody does this from time to time. So Cop running out the bottom lane. They got about minute 40 seconds left on the Baron. They're going to try to make a bit more happen. I think they want to clean the rest of the outer turrets up during the duration of this buff and really just take even more of an edge.
And Cop already starting to get safe play in his build. He gets to the giant belt, trying to keep himself alive in these fights, keep that KDA up. I'm sure he's sweating right now as we come into these final weeks, and these ranks are weighing on the teams. Just remember, go vote for that All-Star as well while you're watching these matches at esports.com. I got it. As the turret goes down, I was excited about both and couldn't get one out. So at 28 minutes, Jack Curse dictating another lane in their favor, now on the inhibitor.
They were looked to get this, but the thing is, Jackie's off pushing the other lane, and that's sucking Zuna in. So there's almost no threat on Curse right here, since Zuna's not there as an AD carry threat. And if they send ManCloud up to get Nijaki, well, Mandatory Cloud is more likely to be able to fight him, as he's actually just going to go all in, yeah.
There's the ultimate and the jump. He dives in, a flash out as well. The little give and go by himself there.
Dodd is out, and there at that point, since they lost Zed, Vulcan has no threat on Curse, so this other turret is now under a bit more duress, and they know there's no ultimate threat from Mandatory Cloud.
What do we have coming up, Cop? They are actually going to start backing up. Nothing from them. It looks like they were going to push the turret. Vulcan, yes, rather. Mandatory Cloud still up top. Bloodwater's ultimate is up. Chain of Corruption is down for Zuna, as well as Mandatory Cloud's all down as well. He's trying to back here. Looks like they're just going to face take some damage from this turret. They actually did draw aggro, so they do a good job of actually getting the turret without taking too much here. And this is where Vulcan has really excelled in some of their games. They don't have the poke they usually do.
They really want to be able to get some kind of fight, but they know they're 10,000 gold down, and Curse has everybody there, so they're too afraid to initiate something. But if they give up their second inhibitor, it's really hard to come back from. I want Vulcan to fight here, but I don't think they're ready, and I don't think they'd win.
Mandatory Cloud out of mana from finishing off minions. They really don't have the ability to fight right now. It's really just about wave clearing.
They just couldn't deal with it in that situation. Mandatory Cloud hasn't made the Zed work too much. He's farmed a lot, but he hasn't created split push pressure. I gotta say, Voyboy's teleporters came in really big in those plays that they're trying to make. 2 inhibitors down, Riv. It's not something that's easy to come back for. You can see they're trying to elixir up to kind of survive the next push, but the next push could just be a Baron and a slow push to the Nexus by Curse because they have all the cards in their hands.
It's very, got to point out, interesting play from Elements this game. He is 0-0 and 8, and we kind of harped on him for his tosses and throws before, but he's played Thresh in a very less aggressive manner, and it's completely working out for him.
It's been completely solid. He's gotten the box down in the right places, which makes bullet time more effective, and you got to remember, there's really only been one real fight in this game, and that was at the Dragon where Curse cleaned up, and in that fight, Elements made some really good plays, and that's really all he needed to do. They pushed the turrets early well enough. He used his ranged harass really well in those situations, and he's just really played support, right? He's controlled the map, and since he hasn't had to have too many in-fight decisions, Thresh has been great.
Cop here to help Nijaki take down the top turret. Voyboy able to split push by himself as he builds up the Seeker's arm guard. Looks like after sinking all that money into the Rylas, these guys haven't really built too much, which means how far ahead they were. They haven't even needed more items to continuously do what they're doing.
Yeah, a lot of them are actually sitting on a lot of gold. There's 1,600 gold on Cop and 1,400 gold on Voyboy, so they're just happily refreshing these inhibitor kills. If there's a time for Vulcan to go, I'm not sure when it is. Like, I think anytime they do this, it's going to be a bad fight for them. If they land the perfect combo, they might be able to take down Curse, but Curse is so confident in this situation.
It's that position that Vulcan puts himself in. They don't have an initiator. They have an equalizer, but it's a walk-outable initiation. They have the Wither walk-outable. And the new word, I'm going to write that one down. The inhibitor is going to go down here despite anything. The Chain of Corruption would have been the only initiation. Now it's down in defense.
They tried to catch Cop in the Chain of Corruption plus equalizer combo, but once it missed, they're like, all right, we lose the inhibitor. That's unfortunate thing for to happen now. No inhibitors, and number 3 is getting pressured. Still, though, Curse hasn't shopped. They know Zuna's down as initiation, and they're probably pretty confident just split pushing this one in. Even though the Baron's going to be up in about 18 seconds, they're getting as much free damage as they can. Vulcan, you got to go.
There it is, the equalizer, the last initiation they have. The Wither goes down on St. Vicious, but he's not diving the back line. Everything was used on the guy that's not going to be doing a super amount of damage in the first part of the fight. Voyboy on the Nexus turrets.
Control is the name of the game right now for Curse. They are keeping Vulcan baby caged up in their base. They just can't get out of this one. Look at the turrets going down. Third inhibitor taking threat. Lanterns going everywhere. Vulcan doesn't have a real place to counter this.
Absolutely cutting off their air supply. They're not actually even getting minions every 30 seconds out of the Nexus because Voyboy has taken them down like a double lane farming hotshot in your base. 32 minutes into this one, ManCloud putting some pressure on Voyboy, but they're going to need him towards that top turret as well. It goes down and they're getting spread way too thin.
Curse is systematically taking down Vulcan's base. That's 10 turrets to 2. Even though the goal lead is only 12,000, Curse has won this game so far by playing tactically well and winning one team fight, and I think they're going to continue to do it in the same manner.
You have 11 turrets on Summoner's Rift, and Vulcan has not been able to productively fight under one yet, so they're going to have to do it out in the open. Zuna, the focus, the Wild Growth could allow him to do some damage, but he is wiped out. Surgically removed from the map with resets is the next 2. Psycho Sid and Bloodwater head for the fountain. They are shaking in their boots. The last inhibitor goes down, Jat, and Curse looks to stay on top.
Curse just destroyed Vulcan in this one. 33 minutes, completely decisive victory, and they're just going for more kills.
Absolutely. Cop picks up another one for the KDA. A big smile on his face, and Curse comes out victorious. The last match of Week 8.